Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is the 30th day of May 2018. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley has safely made it on the air for another day.
Also known as Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Pee-wee's Playhouse. I am Pee-wee. I am not Pee-wee. I am Dan Koontz, your host. Steve Harrer, news director to my immediate left, will handle the information part of this program. Kat in control and in the green room, patiently waiting to be interviewed by me. I got some hard-hitting journalistic questions. I don't. I'm just going to talk. We're going to talk about the Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary's Apple Century Bike Ride, 31st Apple Century Bike Ride being put on by Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary, and Chris McDermott and Paul Jones will be here.
With these props in front of you, you cannot ask a serious question.
Yeah, I got it.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no rhyme or reason, by the way, to what I put up here.
I was going to say, yeah, what's with the koi?
Don't play with the carp. Put the carp back.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Long life.
I took that off of Evan's desk there. Now the carp's not feeling very good. Yeah, so we have a very good show for you. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Life channel. It's chilly out there. It's only 50 degrees outside of our studios, and we had this weather phenomenon again yesterday. Our high Tuesday, Steve, was 70, which was below normal, but it happened at 11:13 in the morning, and then it gradually got cooler. Yeah. And the afternoon progressed, the winds picked up, the clouds came in, blocked the sun, and we went from 70 to 60 by 5 o'clock at night. That doesn't happen too often.
Spring is a little different this year, isn't it?
Spring is a little different this year. We still haven't hit 90 degrees. We're not going to get 90 degrees at all this week, not even close to it.
No.
So we came close. We hit 89 a couple of times, never got to 90.
Truly, though, this is my favorite time of the year.
Is it?
In the Wenatchee Valley.
Andy Williams wrote a song about it. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Well, yeah. His favorite time of the year.
Yeah, that's Christmas, actually.
So, yeah.
That's my bad. Today in history, sports, everyone is entitled to my Minotti's opinion. We got birthdays, we got the obscure holiday. Kat is standing, that concerns me. Oh, Charlie's there. Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Charlie says hi. Charlie's in the control room. That's for authorized personnel only. How did he get in there? Okay, bye, Charlie. See ya. Now we can get back to work with our cameras around the valley. I think Kat is blushing as we speak.
That's local TV. Come on.
Local TV. You get what you pay for, folks, or double your television viewing pleasure back. The Wenatchee Valley shining bright on this Wednesday morning. Very nice weather today. A lot of sunshine, mid-70s, and then we're going to cloud up a little bit on Thursday, but a gorgeous weekend.
And the river's flowing this way today.
The river is flowing down. It's flowing towards the Pacific today, and it continues to drop down just a little bit more and a little bit more.
I've noticed that shoreline's starting to drop.
And that's good. That's good. We'd like to see that. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for starting your day with us. And now from this point forward, you and I find out together what Kat has decided. And Kat has decided we're going to pay a visit to Monitor or Steins? That's Monitor.
Monitor.
Looking up so you can see the Cashmere area.
The greater Monitor area.
The greater downtown Monitor, of course, is a beautiful area down, bustling, with bars and restaurants.
The whole deal,
they got the Monitor Dome down there. And
I heard they're going to be building a roundabout there too.
In Monitor?
Yeah. It's got like a half moon type of thing. I don't know.
Oh, can I go home, Kat?
It's early.
Camera number 3. Let's say good morning to Rock Island, Washington. That's the Rock Island Golf Course, one of my favorite golf courses. When they put in that back nine, they really did a great job.
They really did, but I think the water trap is a little too big.
It's big. It's big.
Huge.
I've hit into it.
Yeah.
I've hit into the Rock Island Pond, of course, is pretty much right smack dab in the middle of your screen. They stock it full of fish, and people go out, and there's always, every time I go out to Rock Island to play golf, there's always 2 or 3 people fishing.
Oh, sure.
Why not?
They keep it stocked.
Good morning, Rock Island. The Rock Island town, it is a mighty good town.
And it's growing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's growing. And camera 4, have we done 4 cameras? I've lost track already. Nope, we haven't. We say good morning to Lake Chelan. That probably
Wapato
is the
Point there, right?
Bear
Dead
Mountain.
center.
Yeah, that's Wapato Point sticking out. I'm guessing that's the Bear Mountain camera pointing up.
Upper Butte.
That's Upper Butte. I'm sorry, that's Upper Butte. So that's one of our higher cameras. I don't know what the elevation is on that, but it's up there. Wapato Point, as Steve mentioned, sticking out there right in the middle of your screen. Thanks for joining us, Chelan. Thanks for joining us, Manson. And thanks for joining us all over North Central Washington on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley from the National Weather Service. Your forecast looks like this. Lots of sunshine today. Beautiful day today. No problems at all. High of about 74. It's going to take us a while to get there, Steve. We're only at 50, but No clouds, very little wind, northwest wind about 6 to 10 miles an hour. That's all we're going to deal with today. Mostly cloudy skies tonight, 52 for the overnight low. The sun is taking Thursday off, as you can see. Same high temperature, 74 degrees, just lots of clouds. It kind of just, it's going to slide in, going to slide out. The clouds will thin out Thursday night. We'll dip down to 50. That's cool. That's absolutely cool.
Are we over the wind?
No, there's almost no wind. We're going to have a little wind Thursday night as this little system exits. Thursday night, wind 8 to 16 miles an hour, and then almost no wind at all in the forecast. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. But temperatures, just about normal for this time of year. Look at the weekend. Saturday, 79, Sunday, 78, and no wind at all in the forecast for either one of those days.
Beautiful weather. Let's give the firefighters a little break here. Huh?
Yeah, and it's still early and it's still green. And green and rocks are two things that don't burn particularly well. When it's dry and sagey comes August and September, that's when they get worried. But there's still a lot of moisture in the hillsides, so that's good. We like that. 6 minutes after the hour, Steve Hare handles the news duties. He tells us what to do, and occasionally we do it. And we have a newscast with Steve. Comes your way in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
Golfers, register now for Cascade Medical Foundation's 16th Annual Golf Tournament on Monday, June 18th at the Leavenworth Golf Club. Your registration of $150 per person includes 18 holes of golf and cart, all activities and contests, and lunch and dinner. A raffle and live auction will be held. All proceeds will support the lab at Cascade Medical Center. There are limited spaces available. Get your tickets now by registering online or give us a call today.
Family means something in these parts. Family owned and operated means even more. At Rose Tractor, you're buying more than a product. You're buying years of knowledge through multiple generations. It means you can count on Rose for quality products, quality repairs, and folks who stand behind the products they sell. From your job site to your home to rentals and repairs to new outdoor power equipment, Rose Tractor is growing with you throughout the years. Rose Tractor, quality brands you can trust year after year.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Welcome back to the program. Again, Steve Hare with what's happening around north central Washington on this May 30th Wednesday. First of all, an intentionally set fire at Mission View Elementary School in Wenatchee Monday afternoon completely destroyed the playground equipment. Chelan County Fire Marshal Bob Plum says following video surveillance at the school, arrests have been made.
An intentionally set fire video in the school's surveillance system that captured image of like 5 juveniles at the scene just before the fire and walking away, and then a blank period of time when there's no motion to activate the cameras for about 10 minutes, and then the fire's going enough that it activated the camera. And the sheriff's department and the school officials were able to identify the individuals from the recording, and they went out and they located them and interviewed them, and they ended up getting confession from 1 or 2 people. My understanding is that there were charges filed on 2 of the 5. It's just unfortunate the playground equipment is gone. I don't quite understand why something like that happens. Doesn't make sense.
Again, that's Bob Plum, the fire marshal for Chelan County. Wenatchee Police and the Chelan County District 1 crews responded. They put out that blaze in pretty quick order. Thanks to Angel Avina Ramirez for sharing her cell phone video of the fire burning playground equipment on that campus. Also, a Seattle woman was rescued Monday afternoon after she injured her ankle while hiking in the Douglas Creek area. That creek runs through a deep canyon which stretches from the Waterville Plateau down to the Palisades. 59-year-old woman apparently slipped on some rocks and sprained her ankle. She was unable to put any weight on it, hiked back up a rugged 80-foot deep ravine. Members of the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, the Douglas County Fire Department, along with Chelan County Mountain Rescue, responded with specialized equipment to rescue the woman. They used ropes, pulleys, and a winching device to pull that litter back up the hillside. The hiker was then transported by ambulance to Confluence Hospital for treatment. Elsewhere, 3 people were injured Sunday when their Jeep crashed on a forest trail northeast of Liberty. Now, the Kittitas County Sheriff's Office reports 46-year-old Mark Ramink and his 2 passengers, all from Moxie, were ejected from the vehicle after it tumbled about 200 feet down an embankment, ending up against a tree. The driver and one of his passengers suffered life-threatening injuries, according to the sheriff, and they were being treated at Harborview Hospital in Seattle. A second passenger was taken to Kittitas Valley Hospital with relatively minor injuries. Cause of that crash, again, is under investigation. In a press release yesterday, Okanagan County Sheriff Frank Rogers says the closure of the Okanagan River because of flooding now has been lifted. Sheriff Rogers reminds area residents that while planning your trip to the river, remember that there may be some areas that the banks were undercut due to the flooding and erosion and may be unstable. Rogers said the river is still flowing swiftly with unseen debris, so use some caution there. Well, good news, Grant County PUD is set to celebrate the completion of the Riverbend Park boat launch and parking area at Crescent Bar. To mark the completion of construction, the PUD is hosting a ribbon-cutting ceremony and a family-friendly party for all to enjoy. The pre-event will take place Saturday, June 2nd. It begins at 11:30 at Crescent Bar. Again, the final touches on the Riverbend Park boat launch and parking area wrapped up at the end of last week. Meanwhile, planning for the overhaul began back in 2010. Work started in 2014. Finishing the project marked the end of the major construction overhaul at the recreation site. Meanwhile, the PUD will be offering Crescent Bar tours, free food, you got me there, samples, and a presentation from geologist Nick Zenter of Central Washington University. 2 final projects, the renovation of the on-island water system and wastewater treatment plant, will conclude throughout the year. Meanwhile, completion of the projects will put the final stamp on the $35 million renovation project in that popular recreation area known as Crescent Bar. Also, construction has begun on facilities at the old Cashmere Mill site. NCW Life's Grant Olson has more on that story.
The Port of Chelan County bought the property in 2008 and began a $6.6 million project to prepare the area for redevelopment. Craig Larson, Business Development Director for the port, says either 1 or 2 16,000 square foot buildings should be completed by the end of this year. Larson says the port's ultimate goal is to construct up to 4 buildings on the 5.3 acres at the property. Larson added that the buildings will be general purpose facilities open to various types of businesses, including production, food processing, or specialty beverage production. Last year, the Laos Trust Company purchased 3.5 acres for a new manufacturing facility, and company officials expect the building will be completed by mid-July. The Cashmere Mill site has access to electricity, water, sewer, phone, and internet service. It's located off Sunset Highway, a half mile from Highway 2 and 97. Grant Olson, NCW Life News.
By the way, beginning today, Chelan County Public Works crews will begin making some stormwater improvements to Lester Road. The work area begins at the city limits of Wenatchee and ends at the intersection of Lester and Day Roads. Crews will be reshaping and rock lining ditches and cleaning stormwater culverts in that area. Work expected today through tomorrow and then continue into next week. So as an advance notice to you motorists out there, you can expect minor delays in that work area. The roadway will be at 1 lane with flaggers controlling traffic there. Well, we closed this morning with the ultimate spring skiing demonstration. I guess I could kind of describe it as alpine wakeboarding. Don't try that at home, by the way.
That's
You
pretty
like that?
cool.
Isn't that pretty neat?
I saw that on Facebook yesterday.
Yeah, I did too.
So,
I had to share it.
Yeah, how long did it take you to get that before you filmed it? I mean, that's you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
bet.
yeah.
You bet. I can see Lynette now. I can't even stay on a scooter, much less on skis.
You got to do dangerous things every once in a while just to prove you're alive. You do. You got to do crazy
What's
stuff
the last
sometimes.
dangerous thing you did?
Can I get back to you on that? I mean, I like bungee jumped one time. That was fun just to do it. You
For
know.
me, anytime walking downstairs is a dangerous
Is it
thing.
an adventure?
You know?
I think maybe it is time to do something goofy again. I don't know. It's that time of the year. My mailbox is filling up with these things. Lots of these. Graduation announcements. A lot of them starting to come into my
Boy, they're getting
mailbox.
very creative now, aren't they?
Yeah, isn't this cool? This is not what I remember from my youth.
No, I don't
Well, I
either.
don't remember my youth. My niece, Grace Nelson, graduates from Sheldon High School in Eugene.
Yeah.
They're having a party for her. She's going to play volleyball at Eastern.
In other words, it's send a gift.
Yes, of course you do. Richmond Rodriguez, my good buddy, he's the president of the Eastmont Senior Class
Boy, those are
president.
neat. I like
Richmond
that.
graduates, son of Uncle Ernie and the lovely Lisa. I remember when Richmond was just a punky kid learning how to swim in my pool. And Caden Johnson, Cody's oldest boy.
Oh,
Cody
okay.
used to work with us, of course. He's graduating from Freda High School. So, and they're starting to come in.
Congratulations.
Yeah, class
to
of
all our
2018.
In fact, we're going to be broadcasting live the graduation ceremonies at Eastmont.
We're doing all four of them.
All
We're
four of
doing
them.
Eastmont, Wenatchee, Westside, and Wenatchee Valley College.
Oh.
In fact, a week from Friday, we'll do Eastmont's live at the Town Toyota Center that begins at 6, and that will always wrap up before 8 o'clock. And then at 8 o'clock, we switch our live coverage to Lee-Bofta Field at the Apple Bowl for the Wenatchee High School commencement exercises. 117th commencement exercises at Wenatchee High, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And then Westside High School will have their ceremonies about a week later, as will Wenatchee Valley College. We're going to do all of them. So thanks to our sponsors. We appreciate it.
You betcha.
So it's that time of the year. Turn the page and move on to the next stage in your life.
We did it.
Yeah, we survived.
We did it.
We survived. Barely. The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. So make a point to tune in and find out what happened while you were out running around on this Wednesday. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on this very television station. You can also watch it on demand, 5:15, 5:30-ish or so. Give us a couple minutes. We'll get it up on our Facebook page and up on our website. And of course, if you're out and about and you say, hey, this might be newsworthy, I think I want to phone in a little tip. You can do that because we have a telephone.
That's right. Put these numbers up on your fridge to remind you. First of all, you can contact us on our website at ncwlife.com, by social media through Facebook and Twitter. Also, you can email us. Our address is news@ncwlife.com. Or, of course, for breaking news, call the hotline 888-NCWL. Pin it up on your fridge and remember it, and let us know what's happening out there.
We always appreciate the input from you, our viewers. Don't forget, in the second half of the show, a couple members of the Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary, Chris McDermott and Paul Jones, called PJ. They'll be in to talk about the 31st Apple Century Bike Ride, which is this Saturday. It's a big one. It's huge.
Yeah.
And benefits some good kids, too.
They're
So,
all over the place, so be aware of that, folks, and plan your driving accordingly.
well, you know, they go up to Chumstick and they go up to Plain. That's a very pleasant area to do it. You can bike 25, 50, or 100 miles. I know you get tired driving 25 miles, much less biking
Yeah.
25. Why don't you cover that on a scooter? We'll get you a scooter and you can go cover the event on
That
Saturday.
would be grounds for a divorce if I did that, I'm afraid. No more scootering
No
for
more
me.
scootering. It's a long story. We'll have a special 2-hour
A
program
long
on
and
that.
painful story.
19 minutes after the hour, 50 degrees, sunshine, high today of 74. 1 minute break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday today, and history, birthdays, and everyone is entitled to Mike McNalty's opinion. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Live this morning from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. The Cruise and Chelan Classic Car Show is this Friday and Saturday. This show and shine features live music, a barbecue dinner, inflatables for the kids, and more. The 31st annual Apple Century Bike Ride by Sunrise Rotary is Saturday starting at Pybus Market. The ride takes you all the way to Leavenworth or the Lake Wenatchee Fire Station and back. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on LocalTel Channel
You
12.
can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on
Where
Facebook.
we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
And welcome back to this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Coons, your host. Sports. The Mariners are having a surprisingly good year, and a lot of it has to do with the bullpen. Well, last night, the bullpen let us down. A 9-5 loss to the Texas Rangers at the safe. James Pazos came on in relief for Felix Hernandez in the 6th inning. The bases were loaded, nobody was out. Mariners led 4-2, and then we had a wild pitch, and then we had a pass ball, and then we had a RBI base hit, and before you knew it, Texas was ahead 5-4. Seattle would tie it right back. A bases loaded ground out in the 8th, but then they gave it right back in the 9th. Major League save leader Edwin Diaz shelled for 4 runs on 3 hits. The Rangers batted all the way around in the 9th inning. Manager Scott Service said it just wasn't Seattle's night on the mound.
Tonight's ball game got away from us. We just, the walks, the hits batsmen, it got a little crazy there. Rough 6th inning for us, and then, Eddie was he's been on a great roll. He just didn't quite have it tonight and made a couple bad pitches, but our team's been playing really good baseball. And I actually thought offensively we did some good things tonight. I thought Nelson swung the bat much better. Denard Span chipped in a couple. Segura stays hot, so we'll continue to get after it tomorrow. It just wasn't a great night with the pitching, with 8 walks and a couple hits batters, and we're still there. We still have a chance to win the ball game late, but just not our night getting it done tonight.
King Felix has had trouble getting out of the first inning. He's been shelled a lot in the first inning. Not so bad, really, yesterday. He allowed that solo home run to Shin Soo Choo in the first, and then he settled down after that until the 6th inning came around. Scott Service says the start was a lot better for Hernandez. He just hoped that the bullpen would hold on to the lead.
Felix was much more focused tonight, no question about that. I thought, I got behind the first inning to Choo, gave up the home run to him, but I thought, I got through the 5th, starting through the top of the order, but Mazzaro started out with the double, and then things started to unravel a little bit. Not going to Pazos. Pazos has been so good for us, but the ball got away from Z, and then they had a cross up after that. So you look up, and all of a sudden there's 2 runs in, and then he made contact yet. So it wasn't our night. The guys in the bullpen have been awesome. And you're going to stub your toe once in a while. I have no issues, whatever, giving any of those guys the ball. They've been that good, and we'll get back after tomorrow. And same situations will come up, and our guys will come through.
Gene Segura returned to the lineup last night. Remember, he missed a couple of games. He got kicked in the head on Saturday in a play at second base. Segura went 3 for 5, had an RBI, scored in his return. Second baseman Dee Gordon still on the DL. He's expected to be back in the lineup on Thursday when Seattle wraps up the month and their 4-game series with Texas. Of course, Dee Gordon's been on the 10-day DL. He has a broken big right toe. He broke it a few days before he went on the DL. He said, I'm just going to play through the pain, and finally it just got too much. Game 3 of their 4-game series tonight at 7:10 at the safe. James Paxton will go up against Matt Moore. There are your standings for the American League West. Houston, the world champion Houston Astros, still in first place, 35-21. Seattle's just a game back, 33-21. Angels 4.5 back, as you can see. Oakland 6.5 back, and the Rangers are 12.5 back behind the Astros. Let's talk football. Oh, let me tell you about the football. Seattle Seahawks reportedly ready to sign veteran wide receiver Brandon Marshall. He's played for the Giants, the Jets, the Bears, the Dolphins, the Broncos. Oh my. He's a wide receiver. Last year he only played 5 games, had a bum ankle. The 34-year-old is the 23rd leading receiver in NFL history, 12,215 yards. He broke the news yesterday on his Instagram account, wearing the Seahawks number 12 man jersey. You can't wear that in the game. Sorry, Mr. Marshall. It was reported that ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that Marshall agreed to a 1-year deal with Seattle that with incentives could reach $2 million. New wide receiver coming to the fold come autumn. All right, 24 minutes after the hour. Time for the obscure holiday of the day today. May 30th is My Bucket's Got a Hole in It Day. My Bucket's Got a Hole in It. Of course, the great country singer-songwriter Hank Williams once did a song called My Bucket's Got a Hole in It. It's pretty good. So celebrate this rather offbeat day. You can celebrate it by listening to the song. It's a pretty good song, no doubt about that. You can trick somebody by grabbing a bucket and making a hole in it. My Bucket's Got a Hole in It Day. That's all I had to choose from. It's a good song. I don't know if it deserves a day in and of itself. 25 minutes after the hour, today in history. 4 items to get to. Today is the 107th anniversary of the very first Indianapolis 500 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Ray Horan won the race in his Marmon Wasp, the first winner of the 500-mile race. The average speed for the very first Indianapolis 500, 74 miles an hour. Last Sunday, Will Power won the 102nd Indianapolis 500, average speed 167 miles an hour. I have deduced that cars have gotten faster. The very first Indy 500, May 30th, 1911. Today is the 96th anniversary of the Lincoln Memorial. The photo you're about to see is the actual dedication ceremonies in Washington, D.C., the Lincoln Memorial, dedicated. It took forever to get this thing built. There was some infighting, some back and forth. They didn't like the site, and then they had a war, and it was a long time. But they finally got the thing dedicated, May 30th, 1922. Abraham Lincoln inside the memorial was originally only supposed to be 10 feet tall, but two different people created the memorial. One guy created the iconic statue of Lincoln sitting down inside the memorial, and the other guy actually built the building. Well, when the guy who was in charge of Lincoln saw how big and grandiose this building was, he said, I got to make Abe bigger. So the original 10-foot high Lincoln is now 19 feet tall because of that. And the foundation of the Lincoln Memorial is 66 feet down for 2 reasons. Number one, it's a very marshy, swampy area where they built it, and they didn't want it to sink in the ground. And number two, it weighs a ton. I mean, it's all marble, you know. So yeah, the foundation is 66 feet deep. That's a big foundation. Happy birthday to the Lincoln Memorial. May 30th, 1935, 83 years ago today, he was playing out the string with the Boston Braves, Babe Ruth was. First game of a Memorial Day doubleheader. Babe Ruth struck out in the top of the first inning at the Baker Bowl in Philadelphia. In the bottom of the first, he injured his knee fielding a fly ball. Howley came in place of Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth took himself out of the lineup. Babe Ruth never played another Major League Baseball game again. Babe Ruth's career came to an end on this date 83 years ago. And today is the 70th anniversary. You're going to hear about this. The famous Vanport, Oregon flood happened on this date 70 years ago. A dike along the Columbia River. We all, if you were around, they always talk about the flood of 48. Well, the dike broke and Vanport, Oregon was literally wiped off the map. 18,000 people lived in Vanport, and remarkably enough, only 15 people died. That's an incredible statistic. Why only 15 people died? 2 reasons. Number one, it was Memorial Day on the day of the Great Flood down in Vanport, Oregon, and a lot of people simply were out of town. They weren't there. And they had about a half an hour notice between the time that the dike broke and the time that the water rushed into Vanport. So a lot of people were able to get to higher grounds or get up in their attics, which is why with a population of 18,000 people, only 15 people died in the Great Vanport Flood 70 years ago today. Now Vanport, Oregon is gone. It's a golf course and a park along the Columbia River. Finally, birthdays. The man of 1,000 voices, Mel Blanc. There's Mel, was born May 30th, 1908, passed away at the age of 81. In 1989, every Warner Brother Looney Tunes cartoon, he was the voice of every one of them. Warner Brothers made one very big mistake. They allowed Mel Blanc to protect the rights of his voice characterizations. They didn't own his voice. Mel Blanc did that. So Mel Blanc protected the rights to his voice characterizations, and both contractually and legally. And if Mel Blanc heard somebody doing Sylvester or Bugs Bunny, there was a cease and desist order coming your way. He said, my voice, I own it. Mel Blanc, born in this state in 1908, probably the greatest voice actor ever, you would have to say. And the king of swing, the American clarinet player, band leader, the great Benny Goodman, born in this state in 1909, passed away in 1986 at the age of 77. His importance to American popular culture cannot be underestimated. He had one of the very first integrated bands. He didn't care if you were black, white, purple, or plaid. If you could play an instrument and you were good, you eventually found your way into the Benny Goodman Orchestra. The king of swing, Benny Goodman. I'll be listening to some Benny before my day is over, I can guarantee you that. 29 minutes after the hour, everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. We'll find out what's on Mike's mind. And then when we come back, Chris McDermott and Paul Jones for the Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary talking about the 31st Apple Century Bike Ride happens this Saturday. It's a conversation you don't want to miss. And we'll be right back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
I wish we had something cool for the kids to do this summer. I feel like we've just done it all.
Have you heard about the 100 Days of Summer at the Rack? The kids can take a dive with swim team, challenge themselves with karate and junior workouts. It's games galore playing tennis and pickleball. No need to choose. They can try it all with the Rack Summer Multi-Sport Camps. There's fun for you too. Get fit with group fitness or work on that tan by the pool. The Rack has something for the whole family. Find all the details at wrac.org and do your 100 Days of Summer at the Rack, where we play every day.
Hi everyone, Brent. Hey, don't mind, we're just making a commercial here, Randall. You're okay. Hi everyone, Brent here. Jeez. You're gonna love this. When you see this, come down and see us behind Nissan. I can do it. I can do it. The all-new 2018 Nissan. That's done, I'm done. We can't do it. Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee. Better performance, better.
What's your auto mocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes. My favorite is the mocha pepitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Happy spring, Wenatchee Valley from Collins Fashions. We are so ready for your Wenatchee lifestyle special events and vacation time. Colorful tees and tunics, embroidered and colorful ankle jeans, capris and shorts from Not Your Daughters, Jag, Liverpool, French dressing, etc. Beautiful mom of the bride or groom dresses, sundresses too. New shoes and sandals from Soft, Bueno, Nicole, Naked Feet. Spring Brighton handbags and jewelry are amazing. Please stop into Collins and let us style and pamper you, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Walk and Roll Wenatchee's Asian Express is fast, fresh food. Wenatchee Roll's new Poke Hawaiian Fresh Salad Bar is the best. Fresh greens, fresh seafood, and handmade sauces. You know what you want. At Walk and Roll, create your own style meal. Hot off the line chicken, beef, and veggie plates. Lunch or dinner to match your appetite. Fresh sushi, hot entrees, Poke Fresh Salad Bar. It's new. It's Walk and Roll Wenatchee, fast, fresh food your way. Located on 5th and Mission.
Hey, this is Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, there's been no comprehensive solution to school shootings. There's not. There's no one thing that if we do that one thing, it's going to guarantee to stop or even eventually deter somebody intent on murdering school children. Deterring school shooting is going to take a wider-ranging approach, much of it dependent not on government intervention, but on community involvement. This horrific situation, the murder of our children, is going to take each one of us being willing to stop our knee-jerk emotional reactions, ending the blame game, and most of all, most importantly, stop waiting for the government to act and instead to ask ourselves, what can we do, what can we do within this community to help provide an answer? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
The NCW Life Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's Learn, Guada TV, Street Talk and Other Stuff, the 12th District, Life with Lisa, and the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station.
We're here to celebrate every season with award-winning dining, full-service spa, and 170 waterfront guest rooms. Come experience our tradition of hospitality at Campbell's Resort on Lake Chelan.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel.
"36 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. For the 31st consecutive year, the Apple Century Bike Ride comes back to the Wenatchee Valley. They've done 30 of them. They know what they're doing. It's the big one of the year for the Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary, and here to talk about it, two members of Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary. To my immediate left, everybody calls him PJ. His real name is Paul Jones, and to my far left is Chris McDermott, both of them from Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary. Good morning. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
You're both first-timers. All first-timers get the same question. A little bit about you, Chris. Tell folks about yourself a little bit.
Well, I grew up here in Wenatchee in the Valley and graduated from Wenatchee High School. Went off and got an engineering degree, and after living in LA for 4 years and then Seattle, I thought, Wenatchee's a pretty cool place. I want to come back and give back to the community where I grew up in. It's a wonderful place to live.
What year did you graduate from?
I graduated in 89.
89, so we missed each other. Paul, you graduated in 88, right?
No, more like 66.
Well, something about PJ.
Originally from Bozeman, Montana, but Wenatchee's like a second hometown to me.
Yeah.
Came here in 92 with Mission Ridge. That's how I came here. Came from Alta at the time. I've been in the ski business my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And joined Sunrise Rotary that fall and just have had a fabulous time giving back through Rotary to the community. And this bike ride is awesome.
It is, and we'll talk about that. We got a lot. I got lots of notes to talk about. Why Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary? There's a lot of service clubs. They all do great. Kiwanis and Lions and Exchange and everything.
Well,
why Sunrise Rotary?
I was in Rotary in Aspen when I was managing in Aspen, Colorado, and then when I came here, Bob Church, who's no longer with us, but was a member of Sunrise Rotary, also worked at Mission Ridge. And he got me into Sunrise Rotary, and it's all worked. So it's
Same
really
question, Chris. How did you get roped into Sunrise Rotary?
Well, my dad's been a member of Rotary for I think about 93 years.
I thought it was 193.
Well, I'm giving him credit for time served. So he's always been a strong proponent of Rotary. And one of the great things about living in Wenatchee is, and you hit it right on the head, there are so many different service clubs in the Valley, and there's so many people that want to give back and make Wenatchee the great place that it is. You really can't go wrong with any of them. It's truly one of the best parts about living in Wenatchee is how community-oriented everybody is. Even something that people complain about, somebody stopping to let somebody in, new people that aren't from around here, I can't believe they stopped to let somebody in. But it's just the type of people that are here. They're very friendly, want to give out to each other. Wenatchee Sunrise is a great one for me because it meets in the morning, so it's hard for me to get, once I get to work, I don't like to leave work, stay there for a long time. Can't get away for lunch, can't even normally take lunch. So Sunrise is great because it meets early in the morning, so you can go and then get to work and then do your thing.
Well, where do you work at, Chris? I'm making a phone call, Chris. Where do you work at?
I work for Chelan County PUD.
Okay, I'm making a phone call. Get Chris a longer lunch hour. Right down there right now. Well, it says a lot. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. There's not one, not two, but there's actually 3 Rotary clubs in Wenatchee proper. Plus Leavenworth has one, and Cashmere has one, and Quincy, East Wenatchee has one.
Yeah.
That's good. Mm-hmm. That's good. I mean, the fact that there's all these Rotary clubs. There's the Wenatchee North and the Wenatchee Main, and then you guys. That's you don't really see that too often in a town this size, do you?
No.
I would say not.
No, that many. So let's go back 30 years. The genesis of this whole thing. Who were you guys sitting around one day? I suppose you weren't, but you might have been there. I mean, how did this whole thing happen?
Dave Whitmore.
Oh, good. We love Dave. Local attorney, nice guy.
He's the real instigator of the bike ride. He's an avid bike rider himself, and they had to have a fundraiser. So Mark Anderson, who now lives in Reno, and a couple of the guys got together and they decided, let's try this bike ride thing, and it worked out really well. And so we just kept doing it as our major fundraiser for the year to support our challenge scholarship program.
Did they know after the first year, okay, this is it, this is a keeper? I mean, there's always logistics, and this went well, and this didn't go well.
Logistics is really a pain.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Well, because we have to sign the route, mark the route. Back in the day, they used to let us paint arrows on the road with cheap house paint that would wash away in a few days or a month. Well, now we use little stickers, and they're gone in like a few days.
And they're biodegradable.
Biodegradable.
Specifically made for these purposes.
And yeah, but there's one place we can't use them, but it doesn't matter. The Confluence Park. We just cross through the street there. And
Well,
it's a good place
won't
to
name
put
names
arrows.
then, right,
But
PJ?
No.
but they don't want them on their new asphalt, which was 3 years ago or something.
Well, it's understandable, I guess.
But anyway, we
Confluence Park.
Anyway. I had to throw that in because they were, anyway.
Do you have any outside logistical help? I mean, like in the early years?
We hire a flagging company out of Yakima because we have to flag the Big Y intersection in the Peshastin Bridge area and cone the road. And that's, the state requires that because we actually close a lane on the road there for a few hundred yards.
And for good reason.
Right, we're on local roads almost the entire route, which is pretty amazing to think that you can go all the way to Lake Wenatchee and back on local roads. And it's so scenic and
wander through the orchards.
But there are a couple of spots where you can't get there all the way, so we do have to get out onto the highway for just very short stretches. And so for those parts, just for safety purposes, we close off a section for the riders, and we have flaggers.
Yeah.
Safety first, always.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which reminds me, everybody has to wear a helmet. Let's get that out of the way right now.
That is a requirement. Sorry about that. But if we didn't have flaggers, it'd be the last, not the next. Right.
Obviously, without the embracing of the local biking community, this doesn't happen at all. And this has become a biking community now with the loop completely, enclosed, and you see bikers all over the place now. Obviously, the local bicycling community has embraced this.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
A lot of support from Cycle Central, Allberg Sports, all of them. They do a really good job.
Now, you'll have a chance to thank all of your sponsors before we get done with this.
Oh, great.
So, absolutely.
You might know them better than I.
Well, one of the neat things about this particular fundraising event is it really does pair giving back to the community with something that this community loves, which is being active and being outdoors. You hit it again on the head. With being active in the outdoors and cycling, it brings in not only the local cyclists but cyclists from around the region. Until I got involved with this, I didn't realize how many people wanted to really do a 100-mile ride, but there's groups of people that will get together and do it kind of as a team, and they'll look for which rides in the Northwest they want to do, and we're fortunate to be one of those places that they like to pick up on and do. And so
you mentioned riding through the orchards. There they are right there. From a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So
one of the big partners that we have is Confluence Health, and
they are the big sponsor. Are they?
They are the big sponsor. So that being healthy, it's a synergy with them as well. So it's really a neat program.
You mentioned out of towners. How many out of town bicyclists come in? Do you have any idea as the registration
There's
start to pop in?
actually a bigger number from the west side and even from Spokane. We started to tap into that market too. But I want to say 65% are from the west side.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, they get to enjoy beautiful scenery, and the weather is going to be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Saturday.
75 to 78 degrees and sunny. Holy smokes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's going to be partly cloudy
and raining over there.
which is perfect. And it's going to be rainy in Seattle on Saturday. So anyone who's picking up the broadcast over in Seattle, be sure to come over on Saturday.
Come to the sunny side.
That's right. It's going to be perfect.
This is not a race. They're not handing out trophies at the end of it. This is just for fun.
Yeah.
That's an important thing.
And there are couples tandem ride, And they meet at Leavenworth at the pit stop, and then they go into town in Leavenworth and have lunch or whatever, and then only do the 50-mile loop and come back, or they'll go clear to Lake Wenatchee, and their friends will meet them, and they go to their cabin up there and don't even come back.
That's fine too.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of options there.
Sure.
And then there's people that do the 25-mile loop just from Kashmir out to Kashmir and back. And so there's a real variety of people that, well, I've never done this before. I want to go 100 miles, and at about 75 miles, the second time up Beaver Hill out of plane, they go, can I have a ride back to town? And so we have what we call sag wagons, our pickup trucks and vans that work the route for people that have flat tire problems and issues and that need rides that are just shot. And this is going to be a perfect day with the 75, 78 degree temperatures. It would be awesome.
And there's 3 organized rides of 25, 50, and 100 miles with natural turnarounds at Kashmir, Leavenworth, and the Lake Wenatchee Fire Station.
Yeah.
And so that works. And we have food and water stops at each of those turnarounds. We even have bacon at the Leavenworth pit stop, which is.
But they have these special cooked potatoes at Lake Wenatchee.
Yes,
so the pit stops try to outdo each other. Who's got the better food, you know? And
so it's something that a lot of things that the riders really seem to appreciate.
Yeah.
And, when they get back, we'll have a fun time at the close, which is
Pybus.
At Pybus. The start and finish is at Pybus this year again. Last year was the first year, worked out really well.
There's the route there for the 25, the 50, and the 100. As you mentioned before, if you register and you're all good to go and you got your bib, you can ride 2 miles if you want and turn around and go back. You don't really care. I think.
Exactly.
No.
Right.
So,
So you don't have to go the full distance.
Has the route always been the same, Chris, or have you adjusted it over the years? Either one of you want to mention that?
Sure.
Well, we've changed it quite a lot. It used to do every other year we'd go this route. But more on the highway. We used to actually go up Tumwater Canyon. And then
that
the
could
traffic,
be a bit dicey, Saturday
traffic got like way. Then we would do the Chelan route. We'd go up 97 and down 97A out through Navarre Coulee.
But you're still dealing with highways.
Right.
Which, and so when we picked this route, this is like the 7th or 8th year we've done this particular route out through all the orchards. It's really nice. People love it, and not much traffic.
And it's safe.
Much safer.
It's much safer outside of a couple of moments when you have to get across a highway. It's very safe.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is that on the Chelan route, you were exposed more to the wind coming down the Columbia River, and so that crosswind or face wind could be pretty hard on the riders. And now we're pretty protected most of the ride now.
And we did the Eniat. We went up to the falls a couple times, maybe 4 times, and every time coming back, you turn the corner there at Eniat, headed back to Wenatchee, and the wind.
Yeah.
And that was up and back, and it didn't turn out.
This seems like the perfect solution, the route that you have now.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason to change that.
Well, we've talked about some other routes, and one of them we thought about was even up around Waterville, out through the wheat fields. It's gorgeous up there. The scenery is spectacular, but then the start and finish to get there and get back is a real killer climb. So
how much did the biking enthusiasts play a role in choosing the route when you guys sat down and said, let's do the route thing? Because if you got a bunch of non-bikers, you don't know what you're doing.
They love this route.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well,
people really like it. Yeah. It's a beautiful route.
Starts and finishes at Pybus. Can't ask for a better place to do that.
Yeah. They get a good meal when they get back.
We have a meal supplied by Garlini's that's included with the ride, and that'll be served from 11 to 4. Okay. And then there will be a beer garden that opens at the same time, and will be available afterwards. And
what time's the beer garden?
11 to 4.
11 to 4.
Okay. Or it may go
It'll
later.
It'll probably go longer this year because we've got last year there was a wedding we had to be done and get out of there. This year we've got the whole place for quite a while. So
good.
So
people might hang out and drink more beer.
Chris McDermott and Paul Jones, everybody calls him PJ, which apparently is an acronym for poor judgment.
Yeah, and if you've known me very long, you would know that's
He's doing
true.
this show. That will tell you all you need to know. More about the 31st Apple Century Bike Ride when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Join the NCW Life channel for live coverage of Eastmont and Wenatchee High School commencement ceremonies Friday, June 8th.
Coverage brought to you by the Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and outdoor seating in Leavenworth. Young Bucks Landscaping and Tree Service, save a buck. And by Automoca with 6 locations in the valley to serve you.
Live Friday, June 8th, Eastmont High's graduation at 6, followed by Wenatchee High's graduation at 8, exclusively on the NCW Live channel.
Lake Wenatchee YMCA Camp programs focus on our 4 core values of caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility. Make this summer's memories last a lifetime. Pick your theme week today with a wide variety of safe and engaging activities. Lake Wenatchee YMCA Camp is the ultimate summer fun in the sun camp for children, teens, and families. Reserve your child's week today.
Are you raising a grandchild or another relative's child? If so, kinship programs may be available for your family. Kinship Care is the full-time care of children by relatives. Kinship Care maintains family, cultural, and community ties. It's the oldest form of family preservation and an important safety net for children whose parents are either unable or unwilling to care for them. To learn more about Kinship Care or to find a support group near you, please contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington.
Yamaha ATVs and side-by-side vehicles are proven off-road. Designed, engineered, and tested in the real world, they provide the best balance of off-road capability, comfort, and confidence, delivering performance that is truly proven off-road.
We got about 8 minutes left. I am Dan. He is PJ. That's Chris. We're talking the Apple Century bike ride. They're members of the Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary. The website, I love this. 3 days, 8 minutes, and 15 seconds when it starts. That's nice. I like that. Let's get people signed up. For the first timers who said, I'm in, maybe 25 miles, maybe take the family. What do they do? How do they get involved? How do they sign up? What happens?
Online registration ends tonight.
Okay.
But if you're still on the fence, you can still sign up Friday night from 4 to 6:30 at Cycle Central. And then Saturday morning from 6 to 8:30, even day of, you can come and sign up.
And that would be at the Pybus then?
At Pybus on Saturday morning, sure, since that's the start. And then we have an organized start at 7 for the 100-miler, 7:30 for the 50-miler, and 8:30. 8 for the 25-miler.
So you stagger them, that's good.
So we stagger them and get the people going the long distance out a little bit earlier. But with that said, you can start a little bit before that or after that if you want. The flaggers will be out there for a certain amount of time. So we have it planned for that. But if you want to get out there after that, some people don't start right at the same time as everyone else. They want everyone else to go, and then they start after that. So it's not like you're penalized points or anything for that. So it works really well that way.
There's some real avid from the Velo Club and stuff guys that they'll go out at 6 o'clock, and they'll be halfway into the ride before we're even set up. So. And they're into it, and there's groups from the west side, same thing. 8 or 10 guys they start at the regular time, but boy, they're in a race. Even
they're in their own little competition, aren't they? Yeah,
within themselves, yeah. And it's a training kind of ride for the STP and some other rides on the other side, so.
How many volunteers does it take to put this on? It's all Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary, and I guess your whole club is there, right?
Yeah, about 60 of us.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And everybody has their own role. They know what they need to do and what they need to.
Well, there's a group. We sign up for all different jobs. Some jobs take multiple days. Other jobs take a few hours. So we try to share the load. Yeah.
I'm apologizing in advance if you don't know the answer to this question. How many riders? I mean, you mentioned about 60% come over from the west side. How many bicyclists are going to be on the streets
the
of
most we've
Central
ever
Washington?
done is 1,200.
What?
Yeah.
1,200?
Yeah.
That's a lot. And I'm not really very smart, but that's a lot.
Yeah. But the last few years we've been doing right around 600, a little over 600.
Which is still impressive.
Oh, it's been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
In fact, when we did those 3 years, we did a lot of riders. We always ran out of food. We ran out of air. I mean, we kind of got overrun.
Yeah, that can. I mean, the more people, the more logistically challenged you are. And, And poor judgment Paul here probably were throwing out the committee a couple of times.
I hope you didn't trademark that. Logistically challenged. I think I'm going to be using that.
You're more than welcome.
Look, I'm electronically challenged, so logistically challenged, it all fits.
We actually last year it seemed to run really, really well.
It was your fault.
You PJ's the route guru. He does a great job. We mark the route really well. When you get done, we have massages available if people want massages.
Yeah.
So it's really, I was surprised. Last year was my first year in it, and I was surprised at how well ran it was. It really is well organized.
And this is the most important thing of all. We're getting to the big finish. When it's all said and done and the money is counted, the Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary doesn't have a big party and blow it all. It all goes to something really, really cool. Who wants to address who's the beneficiary
The Challenge
of this?
Scholarship Program is the heart and soul of our club. It's throughout the valley. We identify the children who at age 15 or freshmen in high school are at risk of not finishing high school.
And that's that moment, my sister's one of the unit students at Wenatchee High School. She's the first one to tell you that's the balancing act right there. You got to catch them.
And so our challenge to them is finish high school. If you finish high school and you get selected, then we'll pay for your first 2 years of college.
Wow.
At the Wenatchee Valley College rate.
That's a great deal.
It's awesome. And we just had one of our challenge scholars from a few years ago just graduated and got her law degree.
Wow. I love success stories.
And she before was probably not even going to finish high school. And she wrote a beautiful card telling us that we caught her at the right time in her life, and if it wasn't for the inspiration she got from us, she doesn't know where she'd be. But
that's a great story.
Awesome.
I mean, imagine what that's like. You starting high school as a freshman, and life when you're 14 and 15 is troublesome enough.
Yeah.
And just knowing if you go through the process, if I get through and I get a diploma, I know that I'm going to be able to go to Wenatchee Valley College and I won't have to worry about tuition. That's got to be a huge thing.
And they can go to the school of their choice, but at that rate. And then we've had a couple kids that went in the military and said, since I'm in the military, you can give my scholarship money to somebody else, which allowed us to do another scholarship. We used to do 2 a year, now we're being able to do 3. We'd like to do more, but the money only goes so far.
I understand. Well, for the parent of an 8th grader whose kid's going to begin high school next fall, and if they don't know about this, how do they say, hey, PJ?
Mainly through those counselors at the high school.
They certainly know about it.
They're really the conduit at both Eastmont and Wenatchee High. So, it's if you get involved, like I've been in the selection committee many, many years, you want to give it to all those kids. I mean, the stories are just unbelievable. Well, tell us a little bit about your family. Well, my dad's in prison. Oh, well, what's your mother do? Well, she just got out of jail, but she doesn't work. Well, where do you live? Well, right now I'm living with some friends, and next week I'll be somewhere else. I mean, it's like, holy smoke. So there's the involvement of the community to support those kids is really important.
You guys do such good work. I can't even follow up on that. Let's finish up where we started. Apple Century. How much does this cost, Chris?
Well, it costs $75, but late registration costs a little bit more, and if you're day of, it's $85.
And you're getting the food from Garlini's?
You're getting the food from Garlini's, you're getting the food at the pit stops, you're getting a commemorative pint glass, you're getting all the support from everyone else, and you're supporting the wonderful scholarship. One other thing that we didn't mention is one of the requirements of the scholarship recipients is you have to do community service.
Well, that's all well and good.
That's really important to us, and we want to help instill that in the next generation, and so that that they get this benefit, but they also realize, you have to be a part of a greater community.
Pay it forward.
Exactly.
We got about 30 seconds left. Confluence Health is your main sponsor.
Yes.
I'm just going to read these off real quick. Cycle Central, Molina Healthcare, Charter College, Sangster Motors, North Cascades Bank, Hammer Nutrition, Ogden Murphy Wallace, Davis Arneal, Biosports, McDougall & Sons, Apple Valley Gymnastics, and Clifton Larson Allen. And there's more.
There are more.
That's all I could get in. Gentlemen, have fun. Enjoy yourself on Saturday. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Yes, it will. Thank you very much.
I get tired driving 100 miles.
And there'll be live music, too.
Live music from
at the end. Yes.
Everybody have a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.